changed quite a bit since we talked last. I've brought a few books. Yes. Has it gotten better? I mean, the other students. Did they leave you alone? I hope so. Well, I only want to read a few chapters of a homework, but I want to give you a bit of light reading for your topic. I heard you know a bit of German as well. Yes? Well then, these two books are something for you. One is in English as well, so I think I have a bit for you. Well, let's see. Where have I searched my wand. Okay, where it got quite warm in here. Let me change. Where? Okay. Which chapter are we in? Actually, can I see your copies of chapter 2? Yes, I want to revisit it before the next tests. Okay, the first of 7 major operations in the alchemy of transformation. Chemically, the calcination process involves heating a substance in a crucible or over an open flame until it is reduced to ashes. In the Arcanum experiment, calcination is represented by sulfuric acid. Did you know that? I need to revisit this absolutely. Well. Okay, let me see. Oh, this one. I think Professor Snape said this one's important. Amortentia. Recognizable by its distinctive mother-of-pearl sheen and by the fact that its steam rises in characteristic spirals. The Amortentia potion smells differently to different people according to what attracts them, most commonly known as the love potion. It does not, in fact, really cause the person who drinks it to fall in love, but instead to develop a I really hope none of my friends will use this one. That sounds rapey as hell. But instead to develop a powerful infatuation or obsession with a target. Who wants a brainless stalker? That sounds horrible. This should be illegal. Absolutely. I need to talk to Professor Dumbledore about this. This should not be taught. That's horrible. Well, okay. I really hope this won't be taught in a few years, but for now we need to learn the ingredients. Gnome wax, 1 pint when melted. Solid weight depends on the gnome. Well. Ashwander eggs 2. Or frozen, peeled and chopped. Okay. Flaxseed, garlic, 1 head, halved horizontally. Horizontally. Okay. I might. garlic chopped horizontally. Okay, I think I know it now. Lavish fairy ears, half a cup diced. Okay. Ginger, 1 tablespoon, finely ground. Toadstool, half a teaspoon, petrified and cracked. Okay. Bay leaves, goblin oil, rose petals. Oh, I knew they would be in there. I knew it. And acrobat beetle, juiced, 1/2 a cup. Okay, target's personal item. I really think this potion is extremely dangerous. No. Okay, enough revisiting. Let's talk about books. I brought these 3. Look, this one. This one is really pretty from the outside. I love the artworks. They're awesome. Really pretty. Fierce Femmes and Notorious Liars, a dangerous trans girl's confabulous memoir. That's really cool. It's about gangs. Can you believe it? But it's really cool. Really awesome. From K. Cheng Tom. Let's read. At once a love letter and challenge to the traditional transgender memoir, Fierce Femmes and Notorious Liars is a playful, surrealist dance through queer coming of age. A haunted young girl who happens to be a kung fu expert and pathological liar runs away from an oppressive city where the sky is always grey in search of love and sisterhood, and finds herself in a magical place known only as the Street of Miracles. There, she is quickly adopted into a vigilant gang of glamorous warriors, femmes called the Lipstick Lacerators, whose mission is to scour the streets of violent men and avenge murdered trans women everywhere. But when disaster strikes, can our intrepid heroine find the truth within herself in order to protect her new family and heal her broken heart? It's really cool. I really advise you to read this. Yes, you can take it. Okay. Then I really hope you know a bit of German, but maybe a translation spell could make you read this one too. Body. I tried to summarize it a bit. It's about a trans man in the age of 15. He loves to skate, loves short hair and baggy clothes. His buddies David and Julian teach him tricks on the skateboard. They even support him against the rebel and bitchy girls, which call him tranny or something like that. When Uli fell in love with Sandy, he knew for sure he is a boy, and that's why he wanted to be accepted as one from his colleagues, his family, and from Sandy. But who will be on his side when he will decide to live like his true self? A really, really good book, even for children. It's really awesome. I would maybe recommend reading this one first, because it's I think the most story-based book from these At least I thought that was a bit easier to read. And this one, Be and Not to Be. It's also about a trans man. A bit more informative than the first one, which was more story-like. How does a boy feel who lives in a girl's body? Felix tried. Actually not in his free will. He's transsexual. It's about the harsh reality. In this book, Felix told how it is to be a FTM transsexual. It's the first German autobiography of a typical FTM transsexual, with all the usual operations. Really informative. You should try this too. Yes? Well, I need to study a bit more. Do you want to continue reading with me, or do you want to revise the books? Yes? Okay, well then, let me read something again. I think this one is important too. The Draught of Living Death. The Draught of Living Death brings upon its drinker a very powerful sleep that can last indefinitely. Use with caution, paying careful attention to its dosage. This is an extremely dangerous potion. The Wiggenweld potion is capable of reversing the effects of the draught. The hag Laetitia Somnolence used the draught in an attempt to kill a princess who made her jealous. A prince who placed Wiggenweld potion on his lips revived the princess with a kiss. That sounds like the tale of Sleeping Beauty, doesn't it? Interesting fact. Ingredients: Sopophorus bean, water, 13 pins, African sea salt, 5 ooze, essence of wormwood, 2 pins, valerian root, asphodel, special equipment, beaker, iron cauldron. Okay, well, before we visit the instructions, let me change a bit quick. It's really hot in here, but we need to study for a bit longer, so that's better. Well, let's see. Oh, I lost the page. There it is. Okay. Instructions. Cut up a Sopophorus bean, being careful to retain the juice. Pour in 30 pins of water and add 5 ooze of African sea salt to a beaker. Set the beaker aside and allow to rest for 5 minutes. Do not shake. Third, slowly pour the entire contents into an iron cauldron. With your left hand, use a graduated cylinder to obtain 2 pins of essence of wormwood. With your right hand, hold the cauldron angled away from you and pour in 10 drops of essence of wormwood. Tilt the cauldron back towards you and pour in the remaining 10 drops. That's important, okay. Okay. I need to remember. First, tilt the cauldron, then the 10 remaining drops. Okay, 10 remaining drops. 10. Okay, I think I have it. Fourth, Chop 3 valerian roots into small squared pieces. After cutting, set 8 pieces aside and place the remainder in a beaker with water and leave it to settle for 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. At this point, the beaker mixture should resemble a smooth purple colored liquid. 5th point. Carefully pour the Sopophorus beans juice into the cauldron, then add 7 drops of the reduced liquid from the beaker. Make sure there are no traces or fragments of valerian root. No traces. Do you remember? No traces of the valerian root. That's quite important. Pass through muslin if necessary. Stir the portion 10 times clockwise and place over a low heat to simmer. Clockwise. Clockwise, okay. Okay. So, where were I? Okay. Stir the potion 10 times clockwise and place over a low heat to simmer. Your potion should now be turning a light shade of lilac. Okay, lilac. Okay. Then stir the potion anti-clockwise until it turns clear. Every stir should take approximately 2.5 seconds. Okay. 6th, add 7 pieces of valerian root one by one. Where first we had to make sure that there's no valerian root in it, and now, after it's lilac, 7 pieces of valerian root. That doesn't sound really logical, but okay, I do as they say, then everything should be perfect. Okay, add 7 pieces of valerian root one by one, then stir the potion 10 times anti-clockwise. Okay, next add 7 oz of powdered root of asphodel. Stir 10 times anti-clockwise and 8 times clockwise. I've seen Harry stir only 7 times, but he still got this creepy book. I really don't think he should use it this much. I think Ron said he sleeps with it. Could you believe it? I really should have taken it from him. That sounds really not good. Okay, well, 8 times clockwise. Then leave to settle for 2.5 minutes. Okay. And the last point. Yes, the last point. Finally add the remaining piece of chopped valerian root, turning your potion to a pale pink color. The preparation is now complete. Okay, substitutions. Asphodel or Asphodelus ramosus is a relative of the lily and native to Europe. In its absence, it is possible to use other variants of the genus Lilium. Potency will vary, so it is wise to check with your potions master before choosing. Okay, warnings. Do not confuse valerian root with mandrake root. When cut, valerian root has a purple coloration, whereas mandrake root will be beige. Also, mandrake root will struggle and scream, whereas valerian root will remain motionless and inaudible. That's interesting, but I think we knew that since 2nd grade, don't we? At least I remember. Well, do you want to? I see you looking to the other books. Do you want to? Should we look into one of the books? I think you're quite noisy, aren't you? Well, okay. This one? You picked this one, right? Okay. Well, let's see. From the beginning, you want to? Okay. Well, let's see. The writing is pretty. Okay. For my family, blood and chosen, and for fierce femmes, fighters, haunted girls, and liars everywhere. Dangerous stories. I don't believe in safe spaces. They don't exist. I do, however, believe in dangerous stories. The kind that swirl up from inside you when you least expect it, like the voice of a mad angel, whispering of the revolution you are about to unleash. Stories that bend and twist the air as they crackle off your tongue, making you shimmer with glamour so that everyone around you hangs on to your every intoxicating word. The kind of stories that quite mad girls dream of to bring themselves comfort after crying themselves to sleep at night, that made your poor starving grandfather cross an entire ocean in search of the unbelievable riches someone once told him were waiting on the other side. The kind of story that doesn't wait for you to invite it to enter, but bursts through the doors of your rat-infested house like a glittering wind, hungry, hungry to snatch up the carpet and scatter your papers and smash every single plate in the kitchen, that surges, howling up the battered stairs to blast the stained sheets off your filthy bed and sweep your secrets out of the closet and send them shrieking outside, overjoyed to be finally set free. Where are those kind of stories about trans girls like you and me? The other day I was watching some post-sex television when a beautiful white trans woman in a flowy white organza gown appeared on the screen. She was making a speech. Everything about her was very white, like she was about to be buried and crushed into a diamond. She was already a multi-millionaire celebrity from before she came out, and when she did, everyone made a big deal about it. Then she got the surgery, and now she's getting an upstanding Good Samaritan pillar of the Community Award for, like, being brave or whatever. Which is actually pretty cool, I guess, because good for her, you know. Though I will admit to be just the tiniest bit jealous, because I have always wanted a flowery dress like that. But I'm not hating on her for being rich or famous or white or anything, not much anyway. No, what really works me up is the way that this whole story is being told. Everyone, look at this poor little trans girl desperate for a fairy godmother doctor to give her boobs and a vagina and a pretty face and wear nice dresses. Save the trans girls, save the whales, put them in a zoo. It's actually a very old archetype that trans girl stories get put into. The sort of tragic, plucky little orphan character who is just supposed to suffer through everything and wait. And if you're good and brave and patient and white and rich enough, then you get the big reward, which is that you get to be just like everybody else who is white and rich and boring. And then you marry the prince or the football player and live boringly ever after. We are like Cinderella, waiting to go to the ball, like the Little Mermaid, getting her tail surgically altered and her voice removed so that she can walk around on land. Those are the stories we get these days. Or, ones where we're dead. Where are all the stories about little swarthy-skinned robot trans girls waving tiny knives made of bone? About trans teenage witches with golden eyes who cut out their own hearts and lock them in boxes so that awful guys on the internet will never break them again? About trans girls who lost their father in the war and their mother to disease, who go forth to find where death lives and make him give them back. Looking at the ivory face of the trans lady on the TV, I decided then and there that someone had to write us girls a dangerous story, a transgender memoir, but not like most of the 11.378 transgender memoirs out there, which are just regurgitations of the same old story that makes us boring and dead and safe to read about. I wanted something kick-ass and intense with hot sex and gang violence and maybe zombies and lots of magic, which is, pretty much my life, right? So I thought I'd give writing a try. The crowd gave a standing ovation as the millionaire trans lady on TV finished her speech about believing in yourself, and the 172% of transgender teenagers attempting suicide and how we need to support them in their struggle to wait for things to get better. I felt this hot, spiky anger, like I wanted to kick right through the television screen, right through her stupid Botox pasty face. And I would have done it too. It was my boyfriend's television, and he's got a good job and everything, and I could have said my food slipped. But ultimately, I just couldn't. Because at the end of the day, she's still my sister, And as much as I don't like her, or am jealous or whatever, I still feel the need to keep the sister love flame burning inside my heart. I don't want to become one of those old bitter activist types who has to hate everything. So instead of kicking, I blew a kiss at the TV. A spark jumped from my lips, skipped off my palm, and darted through the air to touch down gently on a close-up of her face. The screen exploded in a glorious symphony of electricity and shattering glass, and 1,000 razor shards flew through the air and turned into crimson butterflies that danced through the room on their way out the window. Part 1. One way. Well, I think we got you quite settled. Here, you can read. Well, I think I go study a bit more. Good night.